All right. Welcome back to another episode of Friday Night Lines. I apologize. I got all drunk last Friday. Forgot to do it. I will not miss again. This is for the people. This isn't just for me. This is for you. You need my picks. I'll recap last week real quick. I went 2 weeks ago. Sorry. In NFL picks, I went 2-3 overall. And college football picks, I went 2-3 2 weeks ago, and I'm 5-5 overall. If you guys, I apologize for missing last week because if you're listening at least to the Loaded Box episodes, I'm hot right now, especially if you follow my units. I'm up 2.3 units. So if you bet, let's say $10 on every game, you're up $230. If you bet $100 as a 0.1 unit, you're up, $2,300. So I'm giving you winners by my big money bets. I had a profitable weekend this last weekend. I'll make sure to get my picks up continually on Twitter as we go along. But Friday Night Lines, we're back. I'm excited to be back. I have to go to dinner pretty soon, so I don't have time to grab a drink, but I will be drinking very shortly. You should definitely be drinking while you watch this. Let's just get into the picks. I don't want to get yelled at by my wife. As you know, we always start with our Saturday slate, as that's coming tomorrow. There's some games tonight that I do like. But I want to give you my Saturday slate so you have time to bet them. So you'll see my picks here scrolling across the bottom line here on Twitter. Let's get into it. Pick number one, simple. We're going to start out easy. Minnesota, lay the 31 points versus Bowling Green. Bowling Green is a really bad football team. They got beat by a not good Tennessee football team. And I know that would piss Tennessee fans off so much. I don't care. They lost to a bad Tennessee team by 32 points. Minnesota's much better than Tennessee. And they lost to South Alabama. South Alabama's okay in their conference, but Minnesota's going to go and smash those. Happily lay the 31 points, take that win. That's an automatic. They'll cover that 31 points. Game number two, I like UNC. They're out on a vengeful tour after losing game one. UNC minus 13.5 at Georgia Tech. People are going to react to the Georgia Tech loss to Clemson. They only lost by 6. But don't overreact to that. Yes, I know it's at Georgia Tech. Clemson just doesn't seem really good right now. And I sure as fuck know that Georgia Tech isn't any good. Tech wasted all their energy trying to fight Clemson. They put everything in that game, and now they have to face maybe, to me, honestly, the best team, I think, currently, even with the loss of Virginia Tech. That's week one. The atmosphere, the crowd's back. I'm not putting much stock in that week one game against Vodtech being at Vodtech. The atmosphere is hard to come into. It's week one. They're 18 to 22-year-old kids. UNC is the best team in the AAC. Sam Howell is the best quarterback in the nation. They are going to blitz Georgia Tech, and Georgia Tech is not going to be ready. Game number 3. We have, again, not a homer pick. Not a homer pick by any means. We have Nebraska, my team, plus 4.5 at Michigan State. I love this game. I love this game because it's such a rat line. Michigan State's been just dominating people. They just beat the crap out of Miami. Or did they? Nebraska starts off with a loss to Illinois in a game which they outplayed them, had more yards, everything. They were better than them. But analytically, Vegas has analytical lies. If you realistically look at this, Michigan State hasn't played anybody that great. Miami, I just don't think that they're good. But that Miami game was more like a 4 to 7 point game when Miami was leading at half, and it had a couple of turnovers. Nebraska played Oklahoma close and lost really close, and they played really good. And I know Oklahoma is not as good as what I know. They're not that great. They're not as good as what we're making them. Spencer Rattler isn't good, but Nebraska isn't as bad as what you think. And the fact that this line is plus 4.5 should freak you out. You should be running away from Oklahoma. I'm going to bet Nebraska money line. I'm going to win it. Take the 4.5, but wait till tomorrow because I think it's going to continue to creep up. I think it's going to be more like 5.5. I want to glance at it right now to see what it's currently at. But on my book, I was getting it at 4.5. I'm going to just run through here quick. Bear with me. It is currently at 5. So Michigan State's favored by 5. Continue. Wait till Saturday morning. Wait till like 10 o'clock before you get that bet in. I bet you it'll be up to 5.5, 6 points, so you're going to get more of a line. Love that pick. Game number 4, West Virginia, plus 17 at Oklahoma. I just talked about Nebraska and Oklahoma. I I know West Virginia should have lost to Va Tech. They did end up covering that game last week. But you can make it a case that Nebraska should have beat Oklahoma last week at Oklahoma and Norman. I don't. Oklahoma's not that good. How are they favored against anybody by 17 points? They should not be favored by 17. It should be more like 7-10, maybe just because it's at home. But I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it from Oklahoma. They're gonna have to show me for. I like West Virginia plus the 17. And lastly, maybe my favorite bet of the weekend: Mississippi State at home playing LSU. LSU stinks. LSU fans, they stink. They have recently beaten the shit out of McNeese State and Central Michigan. They are trash football teams. If that's what LSU fans are hanging their hat on right now, the fact that they're beating McNeese and Central Michigan by a great margin and just forgetting that LSU just blitzed their defense and got like 8 yards per carry or 8 yards per play, and that their defense is still an issue. Mississippi State beat the crap out of LSU last week in week 1, and they're going to do it again. LSU still has major issues on defense. They're still giving up a bunch of plays. Mississippi State's going to show up again. Will Rogers throws for 500 yards, 5 touchdowns. He had a great game last week in a game they should have beat Memphis in just a tragic loss. Tragic loss to Memphis. The worst ref call ever. Refs in college football, we need to move the NFL refs to college because it's bad. The college football refs this week, this Memphis call where the guy downed the ball and put a hand on it, and then they picked it up and they allowed him to run it for a touchdown and then didn't overturn it. It's ridiculous. Guy's hands were the ref's hands were going up. They didn't blow the whistle. It was a mess. Mississippi State should be 3-0 going into 4-0 here against this LSU team. Mississippi State +2 and the money line also. Jump on that. That's the lock. That's the lock of the week. Put all your money on that one. Let's jump into game number and the NFL. Like I said, if you've been following my picks, I've been giving them out on the Loaded Box podcast every Wednesday or Thursday night. We drop our podcast, we go live, and then you can find them anywhere you can find podcasts, Apple, Google Play, whatever the other weird ones are out there. But anyways, I've been hot. I was up. I bet I'm up 2.6 units overall. Was up 1.3 2 weeks ago, 1.3 this week. Again, I'm hot. If you're following me, if you're following my units, keep doing it. We're going to have another winning week. I'll tell you which one's my favorite bets. I'll tell you which one's my non-favorite bets. We're going to start with Chargers +6 at Kansas City. This is one of my favorite bets. I love the Chargers going into KC. The Chargers have struggled in the red zone. They'll get that right. Kansas City is one of the worst defenses in the red zone. But last year, I think they gave up a touchdown like 77% of the time people showed up in the red zone. They can't stop shit in the red zone. Chargers have a great offensive line. They have a Mike Williams who's going to score touchdowns in the red zone for them. Obviously, Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler's been magnificent so far this year. That Chiefs defense is going to give up those points. And we've got Bosa coming after Mahomes, so he's not going to be able to run around as much. He does make some bad decisions. The Chargers will be able to go score for score with them. I love the Chargers here. I might moneyline them, but for the sake of being safe, take the Chargers +6 at Kansas City. Game number 2, I like the Cardinals -7.5 at the Jags. I just can't do the Jags anymore. I'm sick of Urban Meyer. I can't wait for him to leave. I hate how he uses James Robinson. The Cardinals are coming off a game they should have lost. And maybe oh no, we need to get our butt in the gear. Yes, Kyler Murray does this stupid stuff where he throws dumb interceptions, but the Jaguars aren't the defense that are going to make him look bad. It's going to be a better defense. The Niners, the Seahawks, and the Rams, which are all in the division, are going to make Kyler Murray look bad. This week, they crush bad teams. Kyler Murray feasts on bad football teams. 0.2 units. Oh, sorry, you don't care about the units. Not my super favorite bet, but I like it. Cardinals -7.5. Lay that 7.5 points. Swallow it. That half doesn't scare me. They're going to win by 10+ points. Game number 3. I love the Rams money line at +105 when I looked at it Wednesday. They might be different now. Love the LA Rams money line versus the Buccaneers. I believe this is in LA. I don't play the +1.5 because you don't want to pay the juice if you like them plus 1.5, then you sure as hell better like the money line. Don't pay the juice. You're getting the odds. You don't have to pay anything on top of what you're betting. Bet the Rams. Tampa Bay hasn't faced a good defense yet. They've been playing like the Falcons and some other incompetent Cowboys defense that they played the last 2 weeks. They will not score like they did against these last two, like I said, incompetent teams. Tom Brady will struggle. And the Rams secondary is really weak. Stafford is going to have a good time back there, throwing touchdowns to Kupp and Robert Woods. The Rams will win this game. Lock that in. 0.3 units. Third favorite of the week. My least favorite of the week is Washington versus Buffalo, under 45.5. This is my least favorite. But Washington's defense, I know they haven't looked great yet, but they are good. They're returning that core. It's going to be a slow game. They're going to run the ball. They're going to play defense. Buffalo is a solid defensive team too. I think, again, Josh Allen's going to struggle to score points because Washington's defense is good, not because Buffalo's offense is bad. I love under 45.5. Not love it a ton, but I do love it as one of my favorite total bets for the weekend, as it is my only total bet on my card. And last but not least, my favorite bet of the week. I'm going to temper my expectations a little bit now that we are losing, guys. Packers plus 3.5 at San Fran. I loved Green Bay going into it. I'm seeing that obviously David Bakhtiari is out. He's injured till I think he won't be playing till like week 6 or 7. Now Elton Jenkins, who replaced him at left tackle, is going to be out. So Billy Turner will probably be moving to left tackle. The offensive line right now is a disaster. It's going to be quick passes by Rodgers all night and a lot of Aaron Jones. And we're going to bring some guys defensively in the box. They made a change that I like. I'm now a little bit less confident in this. Sorry, I never switched to the Packers, the NFL slate. So you can see it scroll across the bottom. I'm a little bit less confident in the game. Still think they're going to win on Sunday night. Aaron Rodgers loves playing on night games in that slate, for everybody to see. That's just what he does. You saw it on Monday night. It's my favorite bet. Put that money on the Packers. They're going to go 2-1. San Fran hasn't looked like the greatest. They struggled against the Eagles, who they're bad. They're a bad football team. Don't get it twisted. The Eagles are a bad football team. So there's all 10 of my picks. Take those. I'll see you next Friday. I'm going to go get a drink. I'm going to go get dinner. My wife's hungry and pregnant. So I'm out of here. Have a good weekend. Cheers.